Don't you just hate it when somebody lies to you or lies about you? Isn't that irritating? Probably a few things more irritating than that. When somebody lies to you or lies about you, it can be irritating, it can be complicating, and sometimes it can be downright devastating. Take the very sad case of Ian Adams. He worked for IKEA in London. He was a recovering alcoholic. But he had found a solid relationship, he had found a good job, and now there was hope in his heart and spring in his step as he went to work every single day. But one day his employer received a letter from someone who claimed to be a journalist at a local paper, saying they were investigating Ian Adams because he had raped a woman and her 2 children. Ian was instantly suspended from his job and then fired. His name began to circulate in other publications. The only problem is this wasn't a real journalist, it wasn't a real paper, and none of the accusations were true. But Ian went back to alcohol. In his shame, he couldn't get along with his partner. He ended up sleeping in a garage, and finally one morning, shortly before he was exonerated, he hung himself and ended his own life. An extreme example, I know, but when lies are told to us or lies are told about us, in the best case, they can be irritating and frustrating. Some of them can be downright deadly. Do you know, of all the lies that we will ever be told in our entire lifetime, the lies that are worst, the lies that are most damaging, are the lies we tell ourselves. Yeah. It's the lies we tell ourselves that trap us in pain and in guilt and in frustration or in depression. It's the lies that we tell ourselves that rob us of our identity as image bearers of the Most High God, who are to move through the world shaping things, engaging other people in relationships of love, and living with joy. It's the lies we tell ourselves that kill off the people we were meant to be. We're going to take the next several weeks and identify some of the most common lies that we tend to tell ourselves. Lies about ourselves. And we're going to do so in order to rip off the mask that these lies wear. Because it's an interesting thing about the lies that we believe about ourselves, the lies we tell ourselves. They all feel right. They all seem true. We hear them virtually everywhere. But they still unleash their damage on us because they're lies. Jesus said this in John chapter 8, verses 31 and 32. He said, "If you hold to my teachings, then you really are my disciples. And then you will know the truth, and the truth will," what? Anybody know?
Set you free.
Set you free. So we're going to take the next few weeks and take the truth of Jesus to unmask some of the lies we tell ourselves so that we might be free to become the people we were meant to be, so that we might reclaim our identity as image bearers of the Most High God, who live lives of power and joy and love. And the first lie that we want to unmask is this: I have to be strong. That doesn't sound like a lie, does it? Doesn't that feel like it's true? I have to be strong. I mean, I can't quit. I can't falter. Because if I falter, somebody or somebody's around me will really get hurt. If it is to be, it is up to me. So many people count on who I am and how I perform, that no matter how I feel, I've got to suck it up and I have got to be strong. I've got to will myself to keep on going. I've got to will certain things to happen, because if I don't, other people are going to really get hurt. I have to be strong. This belief kind of surfaces in a number of different areas of life. First of all, for some of you, it's the belief that you've got to be emotionally strong. You might be hurt. You might be tired. You might be angry. You might be depressed. But you've got to suck it up and keep going. Because if somehow you cave into these feelings, then the emotionally vulnerable people around you will suffer. It's like if I give into these feelings, oh man, I won't be there for my spouse. And if I'm not there for my spouse, I don't know what will happen to him or her. I've got to be there for my spouse. I've got to be there for my friend because my friend is weak. I've got to be there for my kids because my kids are weak. I've got to be there for some member of my family because that member of the family is really weak. And I've got these people in my life that are just not emotionally strong. And so I got to be strong for them because I've got to be there for them. If I'm not, oh man, who knows what could happen. Or some of us tell ourselves this, man, we've got to be domestically strong. Man, if this home is going to be held together, it's going to be held together by me. I mean, if this marriage is going to work, I'm going to be the one that's going to have to make it work. Sometimes kids look at their parents and they watch their parents' relationship unraveling. And the kids say, we've got to be strong for our parents. Maybe if we're good enough, parents will stay together. Or maybe we think to ourselves, man, I'm the one that's got to pay the bills. I'm the one that's got to do the chores. I'm the one that's got to be there for the kids and be their advocate. And I've got to make sure their homework is done. And I've got to make sure they got the right kind of friends. And I have to attend their sporting events and their recreational endeavors. And look, I'm the one that keeps this home running. I've got to be strong or this home could just fall apart. For others of you, it's more like this. It's, I've got to be vocationally strong. Every Monday, you walk into a job you can't stand. But you know you need the money. You know you've got to have the paycheck. So you suck it up and say, I've just got to be strong. For others, it's a different story. It's not that your job doesn't energize you, but the pressure to produce over and over again at a very high level in order to get noticed, in order to get promoted, in order to get a raise, weighs on you. Or the pressure to produce at a high level over and over again weighs on you because you know, if I don't get this done, my work group will suffer, my colleagues will suffer, our business will suffer, our department will suffer, the shareholders will suffer. I just feel pressure. I've got to be strong. If I don't get this, it's trouble. And then others may think, I got to be spiritually strong. Maybe there's somebody that you care about that doesn't know Jesus personally yet. And you think, I've got to be strong spiritually for them. I've got to say the right things and do the right things and live the right kind of way, because if I blow it, it could turn away from Jesus and I could be their only human hope, their only human bridge to finding them. I've got to be spiritually strong for them. Or maybe in your home, you're really the only spiritual one. And you're thinking to yourself, I've got to be spiritually strong because maybe if I'm spiritually strong enough, it'll rub off on them. On my spouse or my kids or my parents or whatever. And I've got to be strong for them. Maybe you're a spiritual leader. You lead a small group. You lead a ministry. You have some kind of leadership position. You think, I've got to be spiritually strong. Because if I'm not spiritually strong and somehow I blow it and I stumble, a lot of people are going to get hurt. And a lot of people are going to get disillusioned. Spiritually, I've just got to be strong.